that. Like that. Okay, welcome to this webinar about concurrent design, CCD short. I can see that all of you is from this entrepreneurship course, so you will have to learn a lot more about CCD. But this is how it's look, and I will start by introducing ourselves. My name is Börje Hansson. I work at Mid Sweden University, Department of Computer Science. And I've been working with distributed learning for a lot of years and a lot of projects trying to implement distributed learnings, e-learning. So that's why I'm leader of this project. And I have my friend with me.
Yes, hello and welcome to the participants. My name is Tor Atle Hjeltnes. I am also going to be a teacher in this course. Today Börje will talk about concurrent design in more general, and next week we will have a webinar also where we go more into detail what this means to you in your course, because you're going to use some principles from this method when you're working together with your fellow students. So if you don't catch everything right now, it's not a problem, so don't worry. But this will be a good start for those of you who are attending this webinar, because now you can hear a little bit about concurrent design, which is one of the methods we will use in this course to make you collaborate better. So welcome.
Yes, thank you. And we will leave a lot of space for you to ask questions, so don't worry. I will start with talking a little bit about the CCD or why CCD, and I will change this screen to a new one, and I will share my screen. I will share the second one there. Whoops, like that. Okay, I hope you can see this picture. Otherwise, Tor Atle will tell me. CCD, concurrent design, and we like to call it a structured multidisciplinary process, a way to guide processes. And why CCD? I've underlined a couple of words there: multidisciplinary, different roles, collaborate, quickly, and high quality results. I think that's some of the words that will sum up why we like to use the CCD. And we have created our own version of this just for distributed collaboration. I will talk a little bit about this in a while. But I would like to start with the CCD basics. So I will just change the picture here. CCD was developed by NASA. And the reason was that in the 70s they have reduced funding, demands for high quality on the project, demands for faster processing. The results must faster. And as you can see, reduced funding, higher speed and higher quality. That should be an impossible triangle. So the answer was to develop a new method to guide great large processes where we have a lot of people involved and a lot of people that usually have difficulties to talk to each other. They are from different disciplines, they are experts in different areas. They are usually not so good to talk directly to each other. They usually communicate by some process leader. But the idea with the CCD, concurrent design, is the concurrent bit. Everyone is there all the time talking to each other. Some of the things in the CCD, and after this short presentation I will show you more. It's structured process. It's highly structured. You have a map where you can guide you exactly what you're doing in each step in this process. All stakeholders will participate all the time. And that's a new thing. Of course, it could be impossible in enormous NASA project, but in the small project, rather small project, we are talking about all participants will be there, all stakeholders will be there during the whole process. And they work in what we call sessions, and here is the main part of the work is done and all the decisions are made. And one important thing is that everybody has to access to their expert tools. If I'm from the design department, I bring with me my tools to show you how I create the design, because what we are doing in this session is taking decisions based on what everyone's input. Or if I say, oh, you can't do this way, look here, I can show you, then everybody understand and can change. And the results, you have a question here popping up, you can answer it by listening. Results. Everyone takes part in all aspects of the process and all decisions. And this makes people much more strongly involvement in the process and much more commitment. We have tried this a lot of times, and it's amazing to see how people that ordinary cases would not have so much to do in the process now take full responsibility for the work and really being creative. And another thing that we're going to talk more about is we are using in concurrency a parallel process where everybody is there at the same time, reduces the risk of mistakes discovered late in the process. And that type of mistakes are often very costly because you have to go back to the beginning and start all over again. So from an impossible triangle to this possible triangle, this is the CCD triangle. It has 3 corners or legs or pillars or whatever you call them. It's a structured process, it's people, talk more about that, and we have special tools. So this is what you're going to use. And the process is done in real time, concurrency. You're using analyzing, design, and simulations in these sessions. Just to show you a difference between an ordinary process and the CCD process. In this case, we have some design department, some economy department, some production department, and the users. In the CCD process, we bring them together. Instead of looking at the ordinary process of meetings, a lot of deliveries, reporting, new meetings, and so on, we take all this work and make session plans, actually telling people what to do in what step. And then people are at their home desk for preparations. They meet in CCD sessions, and we have a facilitator. Facilitator is a specialist in the CCD process that helps people using the CCD process in an optimized way. What you do in these sessions is finding solutions, visualizing, and taking decisions. More questions from Tor Atle. So here you can see it again, the people, the tools, and the process. You will hear this a lot of times. We have a couple of say default sessions. We can call them different things, and they have different content, but in general we have the first session is a situation analysis, and that's easy. Before, where are we, where is the goal, and after, here are we and there is the goal. It's amazing that often you stumble on this first thing because you didn't do a real situation analysis, because as you can see in all these participants in the first before square, they think they knew where they are, and they think everybody knew where the goal is. So what everyone does is explain the situation out from their own belief on how the situation is. So what you do in this first situation analysis, you totally connect from any thoughts on any solution or what I would like to do. Before, when the situation analysis is ready, and you can have a lot of meeting if it's good, it's a big process, you will continue with the study of possibilities. And if you already had decided on possibilities, this will be meaningless. So here, every reasonable possible solution will be put at the table, even the one around the wording and reaching the goal. And now we are all together in one point and we can see the goal. But from the economic department, I have my ideas of a cheap solution. The users probably has their idea of the best solution. So when all the solutions is clear, you can continue with selection of the optimal solution. And you can call it the best or the optimal, but this is a discussion between all the participants, all the stakeholders of what is the optimal, and then of course everyone has to you can't get exactly what you like, but this is the optimal way to reach this goal for this group. So you have in example you have 3 sessions: situation analysis, look at possible solutions, and selection of solutions. This is an early sketch of a map that controls this process. The map is much bigger nowadays. And then I will just close that one and go back here. And we take a moment if there are any questions. So I will just go back to the welcome screen here. Any questions so far?
There haven't been any questions, but we have published 2 short polls to answer. So
Yeah.
I think we can continue, and we will also have some more polls on the way, so you can click the answer if you like to.
And we can look at the polls after when we're finished. Okay, I will continue. I will go back to this sharing screen, and I have to share my screen once more. Whoops, like that. So here we have the triangle, this process, the people, and the tools. And as you see, NASA, of course, and ESA, European Space Agency, are using CCD currency, CCD process. And in Norway, as one of the people involved in the creation of this process comes from Norway, he is introducing the CCD process in Norway. So big companies like Statoil and others there are already using the CCD. So I will continue to start to look at the process. I talked about the sessions, and I will go back a little bit more because I would like to look at one thing, and that's this. The original way of solving this kind of processes is semi-parallel. You can see it at the bottom. We have design department, of course, having some things to develop, but they have a design. We have some manufacturing, we have packing and shipping, and at the same time perhaps we have some marketing and advertising. And when we reach the end, we realize that the packing doesn't, the advertising is wrong for this packing, or the packing doesn't fit the shipping, or something went wrong, and we didn't notice it until the very end, and we have to go back and start all over again, or perhaps a couple of steps. So in the CCD process, and this is one of the major benefits from the CCD process, you do everything in parallel. So in the CCD process, the design department, the manufacturers, the packing, shipping, marketing, advertising, economics, and so on are working together at the same time. Of course, this means more people involved at the same time, but the result is much quicker, and you get a much higher quality, and you hopefully you don't have to go back in the process when you're at the end. Because if in this session The advertising department can say, oh, I would like to do it this way. And then the manufacturer says, oh no, look here, I can show you what happens if you do that. You can't do that. Oh, then they have to change. And then everything is okay from the start. So from this serial model to parallel process, the concurrency is one of the major things. And you have a good session planning, this framework as you call it. This session planning we call a framework because the framework will look different if you use the CCD process for a procurement process, course, or whatever you do. You are using it with embedded Osterwalder canvas to create a business plan. So we have to tweak the fundamental elements of the CCD process, but still there is situation analysis, possible solutions, and choice of solution. Adam, you have raised your hand. Please write in the chat if you have something to say, because I can't give you microphone access. I will take down your raised hand. Okay. Next. Short. What you're doing in this session is you're visualizing, because you're making a lot of decisions, and the base for a good decision is to know what happens if we take this decision, and that's a visualization. You have to be able to show your participants what happens if you take this decision. That's important. And another important thing about this is every participant in the process have to have the right to make these decisions. You can't say, okay, I will go and ask my boss and be back next week. You have to have the ability to take these decisions. Otherwise, you won't be in that process, because then you're stalling the process. So everyone in these sessions have to be able to make the decisions. This could, in an academic way, this could look like this. Some teams working together. They have some session and initiation process where this framework is created, main stage with a lot of sessions, and we have a final stage where we create whatever we're supposed to create. And there you have the map again. And the map is, of course, a tool, but it's also what controls the process. And I will talk more about the map later on. This was the short of the process. The people, as I said, I didn't say, all stakeholders, all people that are that will, sorry, I forget the name, words, that have something to do with the process, affected of it or will affect it, should be represented. What we often do in processes, big processes, that we exclude a lot of experts, often the end users. We have a lot of bad procurements in Sweden, whether and development of big systems, where they forgot to talk to the end users, or they're trying to implement it with the users, nothing works. So what you do here, when you look at the people is one of the fundamentals. You have to have representatives for all stakeholders in the process. They are experts in their fields. For example, final users, subject specialists, the IT department, pedagogues, if it is course you are developing, specialists in delivery models. And what you're doing when you're looking at the business model, you will have try to in your group have one specialist on each part of this business planning. I know it's really impossible, but try to put together a group that will give you a lot of expertise. And all these people are involved throughout the entire process. It's not like this that you, as an end user, will be there at last meeting or something like that. You're there from the beginning to the start, and this will lead to greater dedication, responsibility, and insight in the process. and you have a lot of communication. You have the possibility to communicate during this process. We tried this in northern Norway, broadband procurement process, and we have a lot of people involved in it that would never had possibility to speak the word in a normal process, and everyone was happy and we had a good result. And the last pillar is the tools. I show you one of the tools, the map. Now the tools, we are using shared documents, and not only shared everyone can read, but everyone can edit all documents at the same time. You can use Google Docs or you can use some other tools. Sorry to say, the most ordinary project tools doesn't give you this. You can edit a document, but you have to check it out, edit, and put it up again. So we're using shared documents. And why? Yes, this creates everybody knows what's happening in the process. You can immediately see, oh, he is writing something in documents. I can respond to it, and together we can create a better document from the start. Everyone knows what's happening in the process, and that creates the involvement that actually creates a better process. Because normally people are just sitting by in a process. No one is interested in what they have to say, and they are really not part of the process. What's often happen also is that the process leader have this kind of open process, but when it comes to the end project, the project leader takes all documents and rewrite them as he or she thinks is the best, and then you lose the connection. If you have all parts of this process being in it all the time, they will all be responsible for the end project. They will all be responsible for all decisions on the way. And as we are using distributed collaboration, we are using Adobe Connect, for example, but you can use any tools. So this is from an actual session. We have people in Sweden and Norway, 2 cities in Norway, and we are creating, this is one of the sessions, I'm not sure which one, but we are working together. They are placed in big rooms with us and a smaller room in Norway. Okay, and now I'll take a break once more. Go back to welcome. Any more questions so far?
We haven't had any questions, but by looking at the answers from the pools, I can see that many people experience challenges that hopefully could be solved by using the concurrent design methodology. So that's very positive.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can continue, and like Börje said, if some of you have some questions, please just write them in the chat and we will try to answer them the best we can. So,
okay. It's one problem with the CCD process, if you call it a problem. It looks so easy. And when I introduced it in that university here for creating new courses, everybody said, oh, why are we not doing like this? It's so easy, but it's easy not to do it the right way. So that's why it's so important to have the facilitator. Now in this course you will be your own facilitators, but in an ordinary process you have a facilitator that helps you not to start the situation analysis by advocating your own interest. Instead, have a real situation analysis. Describe the situation you are in. If you're in economic department, describe the situation you're in from a legal point of view or as an user. And when we have gathered all this, then we can continue. So it's fairly simple to look at, and it's really say, oh, of course, we should do it this way, but it takes some practicing before you can handle it. Okay, and I can tell you, we use this CCED process. The E stands for e-learning, so concurrent e-learning design process to design the course you are now in. That means that this is European project. You have the address down in the notes 44 here. We have the direct link to our project, ccdflight.eu. And there you can see our partners and part of what we have done. So we developed the course using this CCD method, starting with situation analysis, and you will see some of it later on. Okay, I will go back to share my screen once more. Okay, I have to click in here to get right. So perhaps I can back out. Sorry, back. I talked about this framework. So the framework actually gives the steps how to follow. Start with this, continue with that, start the situation analysis, and so on. So that's the framework. And you create it. Now you will create it as you will start, but we create some different frameworks for different situations. So you often start with the initialization phase, and the input here is the project directives. It can be, if you're a company using CCD regular, there will be some idea, okay, we have to develop a video conferencing system, say. And then the person ordering this or what the process leader writes a short project directives, a half page telling we want to develop this and some sentences, and then this is the start for the CCD process. Then you gather a smaller group, some project leader, specialists on the CCD process, and start to create this framework for this specialized process. When you have been using the CCD a lot of times, you have these frameworks already done. So then you pick them off the drawer and just go. What you do is you create a structure and documents, and you create this infrastructure. Sorry, I was supposed to click. The infrastructure. This storage and structure, the process, the shared documents, and you decide, actually the fundamental idea in the CCD process, they're sitting in one huge room. You have some pictures from NASA, 200 or 300 persons in the same room, each having 2 or 3 computer screens and some big screens around the room, so you can share what you like to share to others. You choose the participants. For example, the users, the pedagogues, IT department, administration, finance, facilitator, project leader. Some optional rules. You may need a secretary if the project is big. Perhaps some technicians, quality control, and so on. So what you do in this stage is you set the project, and of course you decide for the results. And the result is what do we want with this project directives. Next, after the initialization phase, is the calibration. And this is the first time, we usually call it session 0, the first before sessions. Collaboration, here we gather all the people. In the earlier startup, we decided who is going to be participants in this process. Are we going to be using distributed method, or are we going to be in a room? What tools are we going to use, and so on. It's a lot of decisions. Have the people have the possibility to learn CCD if they are new to it. It will take a couple of sessions, processes, before you feel that you know what's happening in the CCD process. You decide the CCD room, if we should have it on video or whatever. You look at the sessions plans, decide the number of sessions. I've talked about 3 sessions. It could be 4, 5, 7, 8. You can continue, because if you have a procurement process, you might want to check how did it go. So you can add a process after this procurement process, and after the you have bought anything, you can check did you get what you want. If not, you could have done some wrong in this process. You make this an activity plan, and you talked about immediate activities, because you have the sessions isn't the only one place where you work. As you saw, you have some homework to do, and you work in the sessions, and you go back to this before and after sessions work. Now you're ready to start the first session and the situation analysis. And actually, what do we have is a good question. We have an example of someone want to create a video conference system, and after discussion with the IT department that was there, they said, oh, that's not necessary. We already have that in our server. We just have to flip a switch. So perhaps they saved 10,000 euro or even more. What do we want? Of course, what resources do we have? And everyone describes this from their point of view as an expert. So the economic department says, oh, we only have 10,000 euro and no more. And the IT department says, okay, we have this service, but we can't promise you more than this, and so on. So everyone declaring their limitations and their resources that they can put in the project. After the situation analysis, and as I said, it's really important that in this stage you don't start to think about the solution, because you are now only describing what we have and what do we want, no more. The possible solutions. This would be optimal for the IT department. This would be the quickest, but this is cheaper. The users prefer this, and so on. So you have a lot of different solutions, possible solutions. And when all this is clear, you can go further to the selection of the best or optimal solution. And there we have this. We can all agree on this. Okay, we have a discussion, and we realize that, okay, I can't get, as a user, I can't get everything I want. And okay, at the economic department, we have to put some more money in, and so on. So this is a decision we all can agree on. And actually, in this process, it's called concurrent design, because at NASA they worked on design, and we are talking about, often we have stopped this process at the design stage. We are designing the course. The final stage, implementing the course, is left, but it could have been inside this process as well. So we're talking about designing selected solution. And what we do is we create a finished design document. But what is easy is, what is important, that we are using this design document from start. So the design document is created from start, and then in the first session we start by putting the situation analysis inside this document, continue to put to add to this design document. So what we do in this last stage, we're not writing a new design document, we are just finishing it up, editing a bit, and that's okay. Everybody agrees on this. And of course we have some process evaluation and documentation. And if you are using Google Drive, it's easy. You can collect all documents and just put them together. In this map tool we are using, it's easy to document every stage, what we have done, and the documents produced. Yes, that's the last one. I will go back here. So actually, now we talked about all the way down to set. It's a lot more to tell you, but this is the first seminar, so we have one more. Questions? Tristan is typing, so Tristan can continue to type. So what we are doing for the moment, we have made an app only running on not on Apple, but anyway. And in this app you find links to further readings. Actually not for the moment because I'm working on it, but you will find a lot of more to read. And if you go to our CCD Flight EU web page, I'm sure you find things there as well. So continue to type. And Tor Atle, did you get the permission to distribute Knut Arne's document?
Yeah, I think what's important to say now is that in this webinar you have heard some basics about concurrent design. Concurrent design is a complex method, like you can see, and you should not be intimidated if this was difficult to grasp, because the main goal in this course is, of course, that you are going to work on writing a business plan. To do this job, you will use the business model canvas from Osterwalder. And the reason why concurrent design is in this project is that we think that by you learning more about entrepreneurship, by you using the Osterwalder canvas, you can also use this or some principles from the CCD method to work better together. So don't be scared. And also in Canvas now you can see under module 3 there are more information about concurrent design. And also next week we will have a new short webinar, and there we will focus more precisely on how concurrent design will actually affect you in this course. So, but we think it was a good idea to have this general presentation about concurrent design. But don't be scared if you find it difficult. And of course, the main goal for you is to learn more about entrepreneurship and also write a business plan. And we also discussed it in this project if we should start by having this webinar, because you might get scared because we focus on concurrent design, this method. But we think it's a good start for you, and together with the information from the canvas and the modules there and the next webinar, hopefully you will see that some principles from the concurrent design method will help you do a better job and reach a better result in the end. Now we have some questions, Börje. Maybe we should look at them. Excuse me, is one question here. Where can I find this document? I'm sure it means the presentation.
Okay, I can put it in the same place where I put a link to this seminar. And I think I put it in the announcement page as this was a seminar, and here you have a link and a link to the presentation as well. That's okay?
Yes, that's okay. I hopefully Damien is writing. The next question is from Tristan. A friend of mine created a company and we had some tensions fixing problems via internet. How create good bases without classic methods? I'm not sure if I...
No, I'm not really sure, but I think use the, as you will see later on in this course, when you're using the CCD and Osterwalder together, hopefully you will notice what the CCD process gives you. It gives you tools to work together with. It's more easy to communicate, and by using this situation analysis to start with, you are clear from the beginning what you are talking about. As I said earlier, it's so easy to think that this group, everybody knows where we are and where we are going, but often it's not.
Okay, then we go to the next question. Could you give an example of how CCD was essential in a project that we have started? If you could detail how the process was from ideation to implementation phase. Maybe I should try to answer that one, Börje.
Yeah.
Because concurrent design, if you like an example of why it's important, Börje has talked about it, but I can try to summarize it fast. Because when we were working in trying to develop the course you are now taking, we knew that we had different people located at different sites with different knowledge and maybe different understanding of how the course should be. So we choose to use the concurrent design method, especially because of the sessions, the work sessions. Because in concurrent design, you don't just meet to have a meeting that takes a lot of time and maybe nothing is done. A work session, it means that all the partners in this EU project making this course, we had made a plan of how to go forward. We had a process called concurrent e-learning design that was predefined, and then we had these work meetings. And this means that 16 persons from 6 different countries met online using Google Docs, and we were and also Adobe Connect like we're using now, and we could actually do a job right there and right then using the work sessions in the concurrent design. And we also distributed work between the sessions, and in the concurrent design method, it is also important that people do work between the sessions. So this helped us structurize the project. It helped us talk better together. It helped us not do different jobs with different understandings, but all the time we could adjust so we had the same understanding of what we were doing. And this is more or less the same reason why you will use concurrent design when you are writing your business plan, because you have people from different countries in Europe and the rest of the world, and how should you collaborate to make a business plan? The best way we think is by using some of the principles from concurrent design, being prepared, having a structured process based on the Osterwolder canvas, and also have these work sessions where you make some time, agree in the group, and then you actually do the work together. We think that's the best way for you to reach a final document or a final business plan and a business model. So I was trying to answer the question. I don't know if it was precisely what you wanted, but more or less, I hope you understand what I'm trying to pinpoint.
Then I can just take the next question. How can I design a model if I don't have any basic training on it? Yes, this course is the training. Actually, we said perhaps you shouldn't use your best business model at once. You could use somebody else, because in the group you choose at one business ID to develop as to a model, and what you're doing at the same time, you're learning how to do this. And when you then are doing it for real, you have some of the tools, you have tried it, you have knowledge, and hopefully you realize that you shouldn't be alone. You should be together working with others that had other expertise than yourself. And then throughout the next question for you.
Yes, Gustavo, you have a question about meeting and work meeting. Isn't all meetings work meeting? Oh, there is a very big difference because, like Börje said, when you work with concurrent design, the people involved in the process doing the actual work is also the persons who are present in a work session. Because maybe some of you have experienced that the boss of the company goes to a meeting, then they sit down and they talk. And after the meeting, they say that, okay, I will look into this, I will check that, okay, I will tell someone else to do it, and so on. And then some other people will have to do the work, or some other people go back home to their office and then start working. That's a typical meeting. A work meeting, or what we call a session. A session means that in the actual session, you don't discuss the business plan, you write the business plan. So, like Börje said, if the first session is a situation analysis, you don't talk about, okay, we should have a situation analysis and try to divide the work. What you actually do is that you do the actual situation analysis in the session. And I think this will be important in your course also, because when you are different people from different sites having different thoughts, cultures, and interests, it's important that you actually can work and talk together. And if you're going to do the actual work, then you will need the tools like Börje talked about. So that's where the tools come into the picture. You need the tools to do the actual work in the session or in the work meeting, if we call it that. So there is a big difference from a typical meeting and an actual work session. So everybody have to be prepared. We know what to do. We have planned the process, and in your case, we have helped you design more or less the activities or the sessions you should go through. So hopefully it will give you a better result. And yeah, and like Gustavo said, saying now, it makes sense now. Oh, okay, that's good. It makes sense to me also.
So, Tor, we have another question for you. Is the process of a marketing and manufacturing designed in the same way?
Okay. When you're going to write your business plan or a business model, one of the areas you need expertise in is marketing. So to the degree that marketing, you will talk about marketing in the business plan, and I'm sure you will. Then you have different experts. One is maybe expert on marketing. One is or expert because you are the people who are going to write the business plan. So you have to acquire those skills and knowledge through the course. But um, marketing will be one of the areas where you have focus when you work on your business plan and your business model. So the whole point is that we don't put marketing aside and say that, okay, one person is responsible for doing all the work on marketing. We say that we will address marketing when we write the business plan together with the other important areas. Because what we know is that if you look at marketing alone and you don't look at the customers, you don't look at the product, you don't look at the value proposition and so on, then the marketing won't work. So the best way to make marketing work is by addressing it together with all the other important subjects when you are writing a business plan.
And I can add, what you're doing in this course is you're faced with a group. We can't promise you that you will have a one-person expertise on marketing and so on. You have a group, but you will divide the work. You will divide the roles between you. One person will be responsible for marketing and act as if that person was an expertise. Only in marketing that person shouldn't be messing around and talking about everything else. In this process, this person's role is marketing, and so on. So you will divide the roles between yourself. Okay, you can have 3 persons in the marketing department talking about marketing, so that's no problem. But stay with your roles the whole process, because this is the way the process would run for real. So when you later on will start your own CCD process, be sure to add people in expertise in marketing. Be sure to add people expertise in legal affairs or something like that. So the CCD process is, the people in the CCD process is a good match of different roles that will give anything to the process. And of course, you should have some representatives from the users if you're creating a thing or an app or whatever you're doing. We often skip this, but actually it's important. Don't forget the end users who are going to use what you are going to sell or create or so on. So don't forget the users. Okay, more questions?
There are no more questions.
No, and we are going to finish at in 8 minutes, so you have the
We
time.
will finish when we're out of things to say.
At last.
We can finish. Yeah.
At latest.
But we can say this, that don't worry about expert roles or competence and so on, because that's part of this course, is to make you be more or less experts in the area of entrepreneurship. I don't think you'll become an expert, but you will get knowledge through the different modules. So when we move a bit forward in this course, 3-4 weeks, then you will start your work sessions, and then you will have acquired some more knowledge about business plans and so on. And like we saw in the poll, some people have written business plans or business models before, and some haven't. But that's one of the reasons why you are taking this course, is that you are able to acquire some knowledge and some theory before you start working on the business model. And like I said, the next Wednesday, I will try to pinpoint a bit more how CCD or how principles from CCD can help you, because the CCD method, it's very square if you're going to use it the precise way it was meant to be. So we don't expect you to be experts on concurrent design. We don't expect you to run or to do the job according to the concurrent design, all the concurrent design theory, but we will try to give you next week also some more hints on how you best can work together writing your business plan. So that's what we will try to do. So I say it again, don't be scared if this is a bit blurry right now. Are there anything else, Bedia, or are we finished?
We can say that be aware of that the whole course is open to you, so you can start reading last pages or whatever you like. It's SSDL, Stage Self-Directed Learning. It means you can do whatever you want. We don't bother with in what order you take it. So no more from me. No more for you.
I would just like to say at the end, I would like to say thank you for joining this webinar. And if you also know other people who take this course who aren't present here today, please remind them to join also the next webinar, because that one will be a bit narrower and pinpointed on exactly how you should use the principles from concurrent design in this course. So thank you very much, and I hope you will have a fabulous afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.